I was really upset waking up today and seeing about 2 in the morning, one of my buddies had put something in our Discord, and they never post in the Warhammer section of the Discord. It's basically just me, like, yapping to myself, but occasionally other people put stuff in the Warhammer Discord. Uh, and he put in a Twitter thread. And I don't go on Twitter. I think it's a hell site. I don't really use most social media. I'm really only on Snapchat or Instagram because people I know contact me from those places. I'd rather not be on social media at all for the most part. I watch some YouTube videos, but that's about it. Uh, I then see this thread where this guy, Isaac Young, is saying, "It was good while it lasted, boys. Time to make our own Warhammer 40K." And then I went to the quote tweet from Warhammer Official. And this is actually the Warhammer Twitter. There's no verified checkmark because I assumed they didn't want to pay for it, which fair enough. And they say, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians. Immediately, I'm like, whoa, always been female custodians. That's a little strange. Are you talking about the Sisters of Silence? Uh, the people in the Custodes army that have always been female. There's never been a male amongst them, and they've worked closely with the Custodes since their inception. They've been a big part, actually, because the Custodes don't really have any psychers, and they need that anti-psyker thing going on with blanks. So maybe there's just some missing context here. But green or gold pre-order orcs and Adeptus Custodes, codexes, battle boxes, and more to pick your side. And somebody asked, why did you make female Custodes? That's why they commented the way that they did. So I go to the rest of this here. I'm like, oh, I must be missing some context. My friend that posted that, he's kind of he almost never looks into context, and he doesn't know anything about Warhammer. So I assume that he sent me a link of another heretic because it would make zero sense for female custodians to exist. They couldn't possibly survive any of the training. And there are many female only armies in Warhammer already. It would be a redundant thing. It wouldn't make any sense. So then I keep going to look, and there's so many people complaining about female custodians. And I'm wondering, are these people just dumb? What's going on? But here's the thing, actually. If you look into it, Cody's female. Let's just go to this article by Bullseye by Larry Vela. The new Custodes Codex, new female members. Custodian Calades Tarovalia Kesh stood upon the bridge of a Cobra class destroyer. So, directly referring to her as a custodian, but a lot of Games Workshop writers also don't know anything about Warhammer lore. You've seen like Harlequins ripping through custodians like butter in some novels, which makes zero sense. So I just wanted to keep reading, like, okay, that must be nothing. Da, 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 da. Around at the Golden Armored Giant in the Shadows. So it was to Lethwick's credit, Kess reflected that the man out managed to attend to his duties without so much as looking around the Golden Armored Giant in the Shadows, referring to herself, and the shipmaster Lethwick is looking at her. So this person is a Custodes. This woman is supposed to be a Custodes. Why is everything that I love and care about in media just being destroyed for no good reason? This doesn't do anything good for the setting. I I fundamentally don't understand these people. This is a cultural divide that just separates people in a way that can hardly be explained for me. It's quite insane. because this is all obviously political, because in the world of Warhammer, this doesn't make any sense. Uh, there'd be no reason to include this actually in the realm of Warhammer because it's not an inclusive place. It's a xenophobic. It's a very genocidal setting. I mean, Games Workshop went out of their way to make the Emperor of Mankind quite a lot more evil than he was originally supposed to be depicted. Hold on 1 second, I have to kill this fucking bug. Just like the Tyranids, I have to wipe them out. Alright, bug destroyed, Tyranid threat killed. So, in this here, this world that's not inclusive, where xeno races are genocided for pretty much any reason, I'm supposed to then believe we've exclusively had men as space marines and custodians because they're the only humans that could possibly survive this training. It wouldn't be possible for a woman to survive it. The gene seed's supposed to only be compatible with men. It was never intended to be used on women. It was never even thought of because it would be ridiculous, as you would just inherently have a weaker space marine. There would be no reason to give it to a woman. Zero reason. I mean, even for the men, only the best of the best can possibly survive to be a space marine or a custodian. Most of the men die. It's like a 1 in 100 situation where even the people that are the aspirants make it. Yeah, there are all for every one space marine that makes it, there are 99 other people that died trying to become one. And those are just people that are picked to go through this training. There would be no woman that would survive this. Absolutely zero. It would be a waste of resources. The Imperium is already stretched thin. And is super intolerant, by the way. They would make no exceptions for this. they kill people for the most ridiculous reasons. The Inquisition kills people for just thinking that they may be heretics. Because it's actually more important for them to possibly kill an innocent person and safeguard an entire planet than to care about an individual's life. And when it comes to resources, I mean, fuck, they work people to death on Forge Worlds just to get las guns. Some of the most pathetic guns out in the entire galaxy, but they need to produce so much of them for the billions of people in the Imperial Guard they just throw to their deaths at enemies to overwhelm them. This is not a nice or inclusive setting. The whole cool thing about 40K is that it sucks. And you're trying to make the Imperium of Man an inherently evil organization to become more inclusive all of a sudden. This has been a decaying society for over 10,000 years. And the start of this society was genociding people and killing non-compliant human worlds that would not join the Imperium. These are not good people. That's the whole fucking point, is escaping. That's all people want to do with fantasy, is to escape. Science fiction, it's to escape. To not think about things, man. Why does nobody care about the sanctity of that anymore? Why can't people just be neutral and respect a setting? I don't give a shit if you have a world where there are just women running around doing whatever the fuck they want, if that's the world that you created. In DC, nobody complains about the Amazons. They're a completely different kind of people where the women are super strong. Whatever. Who gives a shit? That's how the story is set up. In 40K, that's not how the story is set up. But they're trying to fundamentally change it because of real-world politics. Well, why does anyone accept this or want this? We have a bunch of fucking tourists coming into this hobby that people really love. And their first thing is asking why women aren't in power armor genociding aliens. I don't I don't understand what we do about this. There's no way to reason with people that inherently don't give a shit about anything. Even the people that are concerned about this, like me, I don't even know if they really care about it because of the sanctity of fucking literature, the arts. Some people hearing that might laugh, like, oh, 40K, the arts. Yeah, it's a fucking story. Stories are one of the most important things for humans throughout history. It's what inspires. It's some of the things that makes life worth living for. Some of the same reasons people believe in gods, have religions, they want to aspire to be something more, believe that there is something higher that we can achieve, or to learn from mistakes like tragedies, like 40K. What a tragedy this has happened. This could be the future. How do we avoid this? What would it be like to live in a world like this? Well, nobody cares. I don't think anybody really gives a shit, and it's so disheartening to see so many things I love and care about just gone to destroy because nobody actually gives a shit. I don't know. This is an unscripted rant. Uh, I have nothing really conclusive or a point, rather than just frustration that this is just every piece of media I've loved for the past 20 years. I mean, I'm only 25, but it's like really everything I've liked since I was a child is just getting destroyed. It's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. But yeah, that's about it.